Manchester United fans are divided on Andrey Santos, not because he is a bad player, not because he lacks talent, but because he is not the kind of signing that creates instant glamour. And that is exactly why the debate is missing the real point. The wrong question is not, is Santos a superstar signing? The right question is, does he solve a football problem that United clearly have right now? Because when you watch United, one issue keeps showing up again and again. They get exposed centrally. The midfield can become too easy to play through. The distances are not always right, and too often Bruno Fernandes has to drop deeper than you want just to help progression and connect the team. That hurts the whole structure. If Bruno drops deep, United lose some of his threat higher up. If the midfield cannot recover, cover ground and protect transitions, the back line gets exposed. And if the team cannot carry intensity through central areas, United become easier to press and easier to counter. That is why Andrey Santos is interesting. He is not a pure deep playmaker. He is not a classic luxury creator, and he is not a pure destroyer sitting in front of the back four. He is a modern two-way midfielder. He wins duels, he recovers possession, he covers ground, he carries the ball forward, he supports the next phase, and importantly, he can arrive into advanced areas instead of just standing behind the ball. That matters because United do not just need another name, they need a midfielder who can help the team function better. Santos gives you more mobility in midfield, he gives you more recovery power, he gives you more athletic coverage in transition, and he gives you a more modern midfield profile than a lot of what United have relied on. That does not mean he solves everything by himself, but it does mean he changes the profile mix of the unit, and one of the biggest benefits is what he can do for Bruno. If Santos handles more recovery work, more coverage and more carrying responsibility, Bruno can stay higher more often. That means Bruno can receive closer to the final third. He can play where he is more dangerous, and United stop asking him to solve too many problems from too deep. That is one of the biggest hidden gains in this move. So what kind of role is best for Santos? His best fit is not as a lone number 6. He is better as the more mobile part of a midfield pair, or as a dynamic box-to-box presence in a structure that gives him support behind him. You want him facing play, pressing forward, recovering, carrying, joining phases, and arriving into advanced zones. You do not want to reduce him to a static anchor whose whole job is just to sit. That is why this signing feels smarter than some fans realize, because this is not about buying a headline, it is about buying a profile, and profile signings are often the ones that improve teams the most. If you want quick reference points, there are parts of Santos's game that connect to the energy and defensive activity you see in a João Gomes type action profile, and there are phases, especially in movement and carrying, where you can see why a modern Alex Scott type midfielder is valuable. But Santos is still his own player. He is not a copy of anyone. He is not the finished article yet, and that brings risk. The risks are clear. He still needs development. His progressive passing can improve. He should not be used as a lone controller every week. And moving to a club like Manchester United means the pressure level rises fast. So this is not a zero-risk signing, but within the right role, the logic is strong. This is the key point. Fans are debating glamour. United should be thinking structure, and structurally, Santos makes sense. He makes the midfield younger. He makes it more athletic. He gives United better recovery legs. He supports transition defense. He helps protect the back four, and he creates the conditions for Bruno Fernandes to spend more time in zones that actually hurt the opposition. That is a meaningful team upgrade, even if it is not a flashy one. Now let's talk pathway. If the development goes the way United should hope, Santos does not need to become one of the 5 best midfielders in the world to justify the move. He needs to become a high-level Premier League starter, a reliable Champions League level midfielder, and one of the most important pieces in United's midfield rebuild. That is the realistic high-end pathway. In value terms, the 4-year outlook is exciting. If he settles, becomes a starter and develops as expected, his market value by year 4 of the contract can move into the high-value bracket for a major Premier League midfielder. And in football stature, the most realistic projection is not global top 5, but it is absolutely possible to see him becoming a recognised top-level midfielder, somewhere in the broader top 15 to top 20 conversation in his role category, if the development curve is strong and United improve around him. That is why this move matters, not because Santos arrives as a superstar, but because he can become part of the reason United look more like a serious team again. Final verdict: Andrey Santos is is not a glamour signing, he is a structural signing, and sometimes those are the ones that matter most. If United use him correctly, develop him properly, and build the midfield around complementary profiles, this can become one of those deals fans underestimate at the start and appreciate much more later. If you want football analysis before the headline, subscribe to SirAlex. Not hype, not recycled transfer talk, TFV, CFV and VAM. Every signing judged by role, value, fit, pathway and future impact. Original football intelligence before the headline. This is SirAlex. And now tell me in the comments, are Manchester United fans underrating Andrey Santos because he is not flashy enough?